muk merakan warumbu meras natatang nunga. Marek 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 muk merakan warumbu meras natatang nunga. Marik, Mukmuk, Marakan, Warumbu, Maraj, Nachatang Nunga. Marik, Mukmuk, Marakan, Warumbu, Maraj, Nachatang Nunga. Marak, 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 Mukmuk, Marakan, Warumbu, Maraj, Nachatang Nunga. Hey, 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 hoop, hey, 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 hoop, hey, hey, hoop, hey, 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 Bonya del compare, bocciare, boccia. 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 Hey, hey, hey. Hoop, hey, hey, hey. Hoop, hey, hey, hey. Hoop, hey, hey, hey. Bonya del compare, bocciare, boccia. 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 Hey, 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 hoop, hey, hey, hoop, hey, hoop, hey, Bonya del compare, bocciare, boccia. 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 Hey, 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 hoop, hey, hey, hoop, hey, hoop, hey, I would like to call now Annie Joyce Donovan to the stage for Welcome to Country.
My name's Joyce Donovan, and my area is from Laparoos down to the Shellhaven River. My people are the Dharawal and the Wadi people. Everywhere where we go was Aboriginal, traditional people were. If we talk about traditional lifestyles, we talk about a time when fishing lines were made from bark, when fish hooks were made from shells. We speak of a time when our people were healthy, a time when the bush was like a pharmacy where our people were and still are the healers, a time when the health status of Aboriginal people was second to none, where leaves, saps from the tree, plants were all used as poultices and medicines, where toxins would be washed out in the river or water, so that our people were very, very healthy. A lot of the trees were used, if you look at a tree, a big fig tree in particular, is a place where our people were born. So that was usually classed as a woman's place. There's very, very special significance. If you have a look at it, no matter where you go in the Illawarra or all over Australia, there would have been people talking in language. There would have been birthing trees put aside. There would have been places for healing, places for ceremony. There would have been law-making done. There would have been nurturing of the children. It's a time when our people were, as I said, a welcome to country. A welcome to country is something that when you're going into somebody's area, it was custom that you had to give permission. You didn't just go. Lots of people went to other areas for bartering, for corroborees and for meetings and get-togethers. If we have a look at the health status, you know, the cardiovascular heart health says that, you know, walk for 20 minutes a day. It's very good for your health. Our people walked and walked. They run. They walked and carried message sticks. So our people were very, very healthy. Our traditional foods down here come from the sea. And most South Coast Aboriginal people, if we're sick, we've got to have our mullet from the sea. Our foods still come. We need the salt water. Salt water's been used for healing for many, many years, many generations, so that we like to be near the saltwater sea. If we have a look at the statistics today, our people, the mortality rate, I believe, is worse than it's ever been. Now we have 3 and 4 funerals in the same day. So there's a lot of stuff still needs to be done with closing the gap and with our people. Education, when we look at education, is probably, I believe, it's just so important, because education can decide whether you live or die. It can decide whether you end up in jail. We've got the highest rate of our people are in the jails, the highest suicide rates, with 79% being our males. So we still need a lot of healing. We need a lot of help. And education for our people can determine whether you could put food on the table for your people, whether you can have a good future. Because when an Aboriginal person graduates and comes back to our community, they then become a very important role model for our children and for all of our communities. So I'm very, very happy to be here today. I'm happy to be here at this centre where I believe we've got excellent resources, with the academic resources here, and of course Woollyunga, that I support very, very much, that does a lot of that nurturing for our people from my community. It's very important that they can get through their degrees here, so that, as I said, they could go back and then become mentors and role models in our communities. It's very important that as academics use the leaders of tomorrow as our people that are here, and that we need to work together because we're only 3% of the population. So we need people to work together with Woollyunga, with the academics. And for us, we also believe that our elders are like professors. They're the holders of the stories. It's important that we work together and share our culture and, most importantly, our history. And the same as what professors are in a university at the faculties, our elders in our communities are very important. So it's important that we're passing stuff on to our younger people also. So without any further ado, on behalf of the Dharawal Wadi Wadi people, I'd like to give a special welcome here today. So thank you very, very much for that.
Thank you, Auntie Joyce, for that welcome to country. Welcome, everyone. My name's Professor David Currow. I'm the Deputy Vice-Chancellor for Health and Sustainable Futures at the University of Wollongong. I'm thrilled to be your Master of Ceremonies for this morning's proceedings. I would like to acknowledge our Indigenous Strategy Unit and our local Aboriginal community. Their leadership has brought to life a vision for an inclusive, reconciled and united Australia. And through this graduation ceremony, we recognise that Aboriginal and Torres Strait Islander peoples are the knowledge holders of country. Thank you for joining us here today for this special occasion. Before we begin proceedings, I just ask that you turn your mobile phone to silent. The university is extremely proud of our graduates, and we're immensely excited to celebrate your achievements in person today. We also congratulate family and friends who have supported our graduates on their journey. We know that that's not easy. We know our graduates have been through a lot. They've endured many aspects of the COVID pandemic and have triumphed. And so, we are here today to congratulate the graduates of 2019, 2020, 2021 and 2022 on their many achievements, and to acknowledge their dedication and commitment to the goals, their aspirations to make our community and world a better place. Please join me in congratulating our graduates today. Would you please now stand for an instrumental version of the Australian National Anthem? Please be seated. I would now like to introduce the Chancellor, the highest university official, Miss Christine McLaughlin AM to give the congratulatory address. Chancellor.
Good morning, everyone. Graduates, family and friends. Welcome to this graduation ceremony. My name is Christine McLaughlin and I am the Chancellor of the University of Wollongong, and I'm honoured to be here with you today. It's truly one of the highlights of my role to witness students celebrate this incredible milestone. I'd like to thank the Wollonga Indigenous Centre and members of our Aboriginal community for leading of the procession today. The smoking ceremony was incredibly moving and makes these events very special. I pay my respects to elders, past and present, and acknowledge their continued spiritual and cultural connections to the lands on which the University of Wollongong campuses are located. As part of today's celebration, we're focusing on the themes of the artwork Cultural Healing by artists Auntie Lorraine Brown and Auntie Narelle Thomas from the Kumadichi United Aboriginal Corporation. You will see this artwork all around you on your graduation booklets as part of the stage design and in various other contexts. The artwork depicts bush tucker, ocean tucker, and medicinal plants and flowers of dreaming stories. All these things play a role in the health and well-being of Indigenous people, including the stories that explain how things came to be and why we exist. It's believed that this is where knowledge, strength, and a reason why came from. We hope to continue learning from and building a deeper understanding of this cultural wisdom. Looking out to this marvellous sea of gowns and walking down the centre aisle and seeing proud beaming faces, I'd really like to begin by congratulating each and every one of our graduating students. You are the reason we do what we do. And I hope you've all stopped to thank those who supported you through that, who are likely sitting here in the hall with you today. It's really a special occasion for all of us, family, friends, teachers, mentors, but it's especially significant for you, our graduates. Many of our students who graduate today are first in the family to complete university, as I was, and I still remember my graduation ceremony and the celebration that followed, albeit that was over 3 decades ago, I'm reminded today. Today's events are the culmination of years of hard work, personal sacrifice and commitment. I hope you feel a deep sense of pride and will take this moment to reflect on your achievements and how far you have come. As a cohort, you share in a unique education experience in an extremely challenging time in our history. So much has changed in recent years, and like many industries, universities have had to undertake rapid innovation, particularly in teaching and learning. The strength and determination you have shown to get here will stay with you and hold you in good stead for many years to come. I hope that your experiences at UOW have not only shaped the person you are today and the career you're about to embark upon, but also the curiosity, empathy, and compassion you take with you. The world is changing so quickly, and as we face complex social, environmental, and economic challenges, I'm confident that, as graduates of the University of Wollongong, you are well placed to lead the way forward. The completion of your studies at UOW places you among the most employable graduates in Australia, and indeed the world. The success of our graduates is one of the many reasons our university enjoys such a strong reputation and is ranked among the top 1% of universities globally, while aiming higher every day. With programs at campuses in Dubai, Hong Kong and Malaysia, and partner institutions in China and Singapore, I hope that you feel proud to be part of a university with an outstanding reputation that spans the globe. Alongside the many changes that will happen in your lives following graduation, today also marks a new type of connection with this university, one I hope will be lifelong, through further study or as a proud ambassador. joining our vibrant global alumni community of more than 170,000 alumni from almost 200 different countries. You are connected by the shared experience of studying at the University of Wollongong. As much as is possible, I encourage you to maintain this connection with your university and fellow graduates. The relationships you have formed during your time here will be invaluable for the years to come. Know this, graduates, you are our greatest achievement, and along with our researchers and partners, you are at the heart of UOW's mission to create lasting and positive impact. It's this community of like-minded people that has shaped our university to become a world leader for social and economic impact. Together with our partners, we're working to solve the biggest questions facing society and striving towards a better quality of life for future generations. This ceremony is public recognition of your commitment and your achievement. It has been our absolute pleasure to have witnessed and played an integral part in your journey. So I hope you'll soak up every minute of these celebrations, remembering this is not a conclusion, indeed, it's a beginning. I hope that you'll capture these feelings of pride, energy, and passion and take them with you into your future. The transition you're making today from student to graduate is an opportunity to re-establish your priorities, take stock, and focus on your future. It's now time to celebrate. Celebrate your hard work and success, and know that the world is at your feet. And as you set forth in your careers, remember to always be bold, courageous, and strong, and stay true to your beliefs. Perhaps as you leave today with your achievements admired by family, friends, teachers, and fellow students, give some thought to what will enable you as an educated individual to thrive, and how you might be able to thrive with passion, some compassion, some humour, and some style. Again, my best wishes and congratulations to each of the graduates. May you have a very happy and memorable graduation day, and thank you for making us so very, very proud.
Thank you, Chancellor. It's now my great pleasure to commence the presentation of the 2019, 2020, 2021 and 2022 graduates to our Chancellor. I now introduce the Executive Dean of the Faculty of Science, Medicine and Health, Senior Professor Eileen McLaughlin, to present the graduates to the Chancellor for the Faculty of Science, Medicine and Health. Professor McLaughlin.
Thank you, Professor Carroll. It's my great pleasure to be here celebrating with our graduates today. We're very proud of what you've all achieved, and I wish to convey my personal congratulations to all the graduates. Now, will all the graduates who are to be presented with undergraduate and postgraduate awards from the Faculty of Science, Medicine and Health please stand? Chancellor, I present to you the graduates to receive awards from the Faculty of Science, Medicine and Health.
In the name of the Council and by my authority as Chancellor, I confirm your admission to the awards for which you have qualified.
Graduates, please sit.
Hannah Allison Munro Lalem. Chantal Akakpo A. Alison Almarza Flores. Toby Bartley. Sophie May Bredtalwa. Emily Kate Cole. Brittany Lee Croucher. Sibel Grace Del Castillo. Tyler Fardell. Pramila Giri. Anjali Gurung. Deki Dorka Gurung. Garima Gurung. Jyoti Gurung. Manju Gurung. Srijan Gurung. Claudia Jackson. Chloe Johnston. Praju K.C. Shelya Kalki. Benedict Kayembe. Mandira K.C. Shannon Kerma. Pratima Kanal. Komalpreet Kaur. Ranu Limbu. Kamala Pun Magar. Nilima Maharjan. Manrose Kaur. Haley Morse. Sumana Panta. Mary Paul. Regina Pudya. Namrata Podel. Manju Rai. Radhika Rajbanshi. Sabina Vrana. Mamata Rasaili. Bina Saru Dapa. Pramila Sedai. Varsha Shakya. Dawa Chiki Sherpa. Alpana Shrestha. Nilesh Shrestha. Reena Shrestha. Sujan Shrestha. Susmita Silwal. Sumana Damrakar. Mamta Tapa. Oshin Tapa Magar. Simran Tapa Magar. Manisha Upreti. Jamila Waiba Lama. Natalie Ward. Sunita Jolagan. Gina Gurung Gati Magar. Tamara Lee Harris. Sibriya Maharjan. Sabhiya Pariya. Nadia Lily Pierre. Caitlin Scarlett. Jaya Spencer. Ekta Karel.
Chancellor, sadly, Miss Katie Rogers, a candidate for the Diploma of Medical and Health Sciences, passed away before she could receive her degree. I invite Katie's brothers, Dominic and Alex Rogers, to come forward to accept the posthumous award on behalf of Katie's family.
In the name of the Council and by my authority as Chancellor, I confirm Katie Rogers' admission to the Diploma of Medical and Health Sciences. On behalf of the University, I express my sincere condolences. Very brave. Well done.
On behalf of the whole University of Wollongong community, I'd like once again to offer sincere condolences to the Rogers family. We will be continuing with the presentation of awards shortly. I would now like to introduce our musical item for today. It's a pleasure to introduce J.R. Rain. J.R. Rain has been performing for as long as he can remember, whether on stage, in the studio with award-winning artists and producers, or lending his acting talents to a myriad of productions, including Home and Away. This young man already has an extensive career, including an ARIA nomination for his song, Rocks and Plans. JR's album, Go On Easy, is now out everywhere, as well as a string of singles that he released directly from his home studio during 2020's lockdown. JR is excited to be back playing live music, and we are very grateful he is able to be with us today. Please join me in welcoming JR, who is going to perform Learning to Fly. JR.
Started out down a dirty road. Started out all alone. Some went down as across the hill. The town lit up, yeah, the world got still. I'm learning to fly, but I ain't got wings. I'm coming down, yeah, it's the hardest thing. In the good old days may not return. The rocks might melt, yeah, the seas may burn. I'm learning to fly, yeah, but I ain't got wings. I'm coming down, yeah, it's the hardest thing. So started out for God knows where. I guess I'll know, yeah, when I get there. I'm learning to fly around the clouds, yeah, 'cause what goes up must come down. Yeah, I'm learning to fly. Yeah, I'm learning to fly. What goes up, yeah, must come down. Thank you.
We will now present the awards to our graduates for their postgraduate programmes in the Faculty of Science, Medicine and Health.
Jinto John. Wenxi Wei. Marissa Jade Ramsbottom. Maria Sophia Shiashiadis. Bhagawarti Acharya. Samjana Acharya Timnusina. Resha Kumari Adhikari. Samiksha Adhikari. Sapana Adhikari. Shristi Adhikari. Srijana Adhikari. Shrishti Adhikari. Ramila Adhikari Acharya. Saru Ale Magar. Amandeep Kaur. Amanpreet Kaur. Supriya Bache Magar. Anu Balami. Sveta Batula. Anjana Bandari. Pakriti Bandari. Pooja Bandari. Shushma Bandari. Diksha Bhattarai. Manisha Bhattarai. Roshni Bujel. Salisha Pusal. Rajeswari Bishwakarma. Bimala Bahara. Jyoti Budhatoki. Sanju Budhatoki. Kamala Chapagain. Rakshya Chantial. Deepa Chetri. Ashmita Dalakoti. Himanta Dangal. Nisha Dangal. Yeshi Dima. Sanju Desha. Ramanpreet Singh Dinza. Ashna Dungana. Kajol Dulal. Farin Duo. Moni Duwal. Salima Gautam. Pravina Kumari Gimiri. Priya Gupta. Jasmi Gurung. Juna Gurung. Mamata Gurung. Pana Gurung. Pariksha Gurung. Ramita Gurung. Sanju Gurung. Samila Gurung. Shashi Gurung. Sijan Gurung. Silpa Gurung. Sujata Gurung. Tikmaya Gurung. Harjit Kaur. Smarika Jabegu. Sunaina K.C. Benita K.C. Adhikari. Monica K.C. Newpain. Benju Kafle. Ganga Kanwa. Shushma Karki Baniya. Nisha Karki. Rekha Karki. Supriya Karki. Shushma Karki. Tara Karki. Uma Karki. Samikshya Kamacharya. Parminda Kaur. Ayusha Khadka. Elisha Khadka. Manisha Kanal. Poonam Kanal. Shasila Kanal. Sapana Karel Gotham. Remika Kunwa. Anju Kunwal Kand. Neelam Lama. Preeti Lama. Pritama Lama. Ramita Lama. Sabina Lama. Suvadra Lama. Nisha Lamichane. Sapana Lamichane. Bunita Lamichane Bataju. Alicia Legal. Deepa Limbu. Shovit Limbu. Sandhya Luitel. Lakshmi Kepchaki Magar. Anju Maharjan. Rohini Maharjan. Sajana Maharjan. Srijana Maharjan, Rogina Manandar, Mandeep Kaur, Milanpreet Kaur, Asika Mokhtan, Anjana Mokhtan, Saraswati Nagarkoti, Sanju Nakarma, Reshmi Nayabari Datepute, Rabina Nepal, Indira Newpain, Seema Newpain, Shrenika Nirula, Sujana Pahari, Sadiksha Panta, Nitika Pokarel, Hemita Pokrel Podel, Bawana Podel, Manisha Podel, Prasansha Podel Kadka, Parisya Pun, Devika Radhakrishnan Nair Valsalakumari, Bipana Rai, Budhakala Rai, Manila Rai, Rabina Rai, Razmi Rai, Bindu Rana, Rajita Rana, Shrinkala Rana, Pooja Rani, Sujata Rawal, Kalpana Rayamaji, Angela Regmi, Reshma Paul, Sabanam Sainju, Shobha Sapkota, Smriti Sapkota, Usha Sapkota, Bindu Sen, Sabina Shahi, Sumnima Shahi, Sanila Shakia, Nidhi Sharma, Dolma Sherpa. Mingma Sherpa. Rinki Sherpa. Roshani Shilpaka. Ashmi Shrestha. Deepa Shrestha. Elena Shrestha. Lakshmi Shrestha. Luna Shrestha. Manjila Shrestha. Nisha Shrestha. Nitisha Shrestha. Oshin Shrestha. Pooja Shrestha. Prashama Timla Shrestha. Regina Shrestha. Sabina Shrestha. Sabina Shrestha. Saru Shrestha. Sujata Shrestha. Supriya Shrestha. Susmita Shrestha. Shwarnim Shrestha. Tamana Shrestha. Menuka Silwal. Simanpreet Kaur. Rasmila Sitiku. Sonu Rani. Sabu Suna. Rebecca Sunua. Lindsay Susan Labby. Bimala Tamang. Bina Tamang. Nisha Tamang. Sanjita Tamang. Sunita Tamang. Manjyoti Tamang Gishing. Pratana Tamraka. Ashna Singh Takuri. Yogita Takuri. Agita Tapa. Alina Tapa. Angela Kumari Tapa. Monica Tapa. Pramila Tapa. Preeti Tapa. Puja Tapa. Rabina Tapa. Richa Tapa. Sabina Tapa. Sariksha Tapa. Shushma Tapa. Trishna Tapa. Sabina Tapa Magar. Siwan Tapalya. Junu Timalsina. Anu Timsina. Jasmine Tuladar. Samiksha Tumbapo Limbu. Simran Upadhyaya. Lochan Upreti. Yazu Vaidya. Nabina Waiba. Puja Yaka. Ambika Yasmali. Shilpa Shrestha. Shrishti Shrestha. Vinlita Chatwiriyapong. Michelle Rhonda Miholic. Rebecca Carter.
Chancellor, I present to you from the Faculty of Science, Medicine and Health for their bachelor degree, Bunu Maharwan. Chancellor, I present to you from the Faculty of Science, Medicine and Health for their master's degree, Rasmita Bhatri. Chancellor, I present to you from the Faculty of Science, Medicine and Health for their master's degree, Barsha Shrestha. It is now with great pleasure that I announce our doctoral award recipients today. Will the graduates who are to be presented with their doctoral awards from the Faculty of Science, Medicine and Health please stand? Chancellor, I present to you the doctoral graduates from the Faculty of Science, Medicine and Health who, by reason of their thesis and other work at the university, have met the requirements for admission to the doctoral degrees.
In the name of the Council and by my authority as Chancellor, I confirm your admission to the doctoral degrees for which you have qualified.
Chancellor, I present to you for their doctoral degrees, for their exploration of what safety in acute mental health units means for consumers, Dr. Natalie Ann Cutler. for their exploration into how an immersive therapeutic recreation program enhanced personal mental recovery, Dr. Caroline Jane Picton. For this study into the development of novel methods to study DNA replication at the single molecule level, Dr. Stefan Hermann Müller.
So wonderful to hear family and friends celebrating such an important milestone for so many people. Congratulations. I would now like to introduce Professor Patricia M. Davidson, Vice-Chancellor and President, to admit our Emeritus Professor to the University today.
I now present the candidate to be admitted as an Emeritus Professor of the University. Will Professor Stephen Pyne please stand? Chancellor, I present Professor Stephen Pyne. Professor Stephen Gregory Pyne is an internationally respected leader in organic chemistry who has led crucial and significant advances in organic synthesis, medicinal chemistry, and natural products chemistry. Attracting near continuous ARC discovery support since 1998, Stephen secured 5 ARC LEAF grants for major equipment in the School of Chemistry and held 6 NHMRC grants in the area of antibacterial drug development. He is widely published and cited and also holds 7 patents. Joining UOW in 1985 as a lecturer, Stephen embarked on a distinguished 36-year career with the university, making professor in 1998. Among his many proud achievements is serving as director of UOW's purpose-built $7.6 million Johnson & Johnson Research Pharmaceutical Laboratory, and he is also director of the Centre for Medicinal Chemistry and Deputy Director of the Centre for Medical and Molecular Bioscience. Stephen has collaborated extensively in Australia and internationally, earning the 2009 Vice-Chancellor's Award for Research Partnerships and a commendation for the Vice-Chancellor's Research Excellence for Senior Researcher Award in 2010. He has advanced UOW, his field and academia more broadly through service to the Royal Chemical Institute, the Australian Research Council, the AIM Promotion Committee, and the UOW ARC and NHMRC review panels, among others. A committed and generous educator, Stephen has inspired generations of students and researchers to share his passion for chemical research. He has supervised more than 50 UOW PhD students and over 20 visiting Thai PhD students to obtain their PhD degrees and make their impact in academia, government, and private research. Appointed as a faculty honorary professor on his retirement in 2021, Stephen remains actively engaged in our community. He continues to generate and publish research at the highest level, supervise PhD students, mentor colleagues, and represent our university at national and international conferences. Chancellor, Professor Stephen Pyne's contribution to the university, its community, and the field of organic chemistry as a researcher, educator, and academic leader is immense. It is my great privilege to present Professor Stephen Pyne to be admitted as an Emeritus Professor of the University of Wollongong.
In the name of the Council and the authority vested in me as Chancellor, I admit you as an Emeritus Professor to the University of Wollongong. Congratulations. That's fantastic.
Chancellor, I will now present the candidate for the degree of Doctor of Science honoris causa. Will Emeritus Professor Alan Pettigrew please stand? Chancellor, it gives me great pleasure to present Emeritus Professor Alan Pettigrew to you for the admission to the degree of Doctor of Science honoris causa. Professor Alan Pettigrew is an international leader in the higher education sector and is renowned for bringing exceptional insight and vision to higher education and medical research governance at a national level. Joining the University of Sydney, his alma mater, as a lecturer in physiology in 1979, Alan began a rapid ascent that saw him appointed head of the Department of Physiology within 10 years, and chair and then head of the Department of Veterinary Physiology soon after. He was also deputy chair of the university's academic board. He moved to the University of Queensland in 1993, serving as Pro-Vice Chancellor and then inaugural Executive Dean of the Faculty of Biological and Chemical Sciences. Subsequently, he was appointed Deputy Vice Chancellor at the University of New South Wales. Alan has undertaken various board and committee membership in parallel to these executive roles, culminating in his ministerial appointment as the inaugural CEO of the National Health and Medical Research Council, a highly influential role that included setting medical research funding on a growth path nationally. Alan returned to academia as Vice Chancellor and CEO at the University of New England in 2006. Following his term there, he spent 3 years as an advisor to the Chief Scientist of Australia and 5 years as a member of the Australian Government's Cooperative Research Centres Committee. He has also undertaken a variety of national and international consultancies on research, training and leadership. In 2014, he joined the University of Wollongong as an independent chair of the Board of Directors of the Illawarra Health and Medical Research Institute. In the ensuing 6 years, Alan brought a fresh dynamism to IMRI, refining its governance and championing it as a vehicle for attracting the world's top scientists to the region, serving to improve healthcare and generate local investment and philanthropic and government research funding. Alan also secured the board's approval to appoint a clinical director to IMRI, facilitating research and teaching bonds between the Institute and the Illawarra Shoalhaven Health District. Professor Pettigrew is currently a Fellow of Senate, Pro-Chancellor and an Emeritus Professor at the University of Sydney. He remains in close contact with his collaborators here at the University of Wollongong since his retirement in 2020. Chancellor, Professor Alan Pettigrew's rich legacy of outstanding academic governance has bolstered research capacity and collaboration in our institution and beyond, with widespread enduring impact for our region and nation. Chancellor, it is a privilege to present Professor Alan Pettigrew for a Doctor of Science honoris causa.
In the name of the Council and by my authority as Chancellor, I admit you to the degree of Doctor of Science honoris causa of the University of Wollongong.
Thank you, Chancellor. As you can see, Professor Pettigrew has many admirers, even I'm very anxious to be on this stage to show their admiration. It now gives me great pleasure to introduce Emeritus Professor Alan Pettigrew to give the occasional address today. Please join me in welcoming and congratulating Emeritus Professor Alan Pettigrew.
Chancellor, Vice-Chancellor, Professor Caro, Professor McLaughlin, graduates and staff. It's a great honour for me to receive the award of Honorary Doctor of Science that the University has conferred on me today. I'm truly grateful for the recognition that this award signifies and the opportunity it provides me to say a few words and congratulate all the graduates who are here today. May I begin, though, by acknowledging the Indigenous elders, past, present and emerging, upon whose lands we meet today. This ceremony has a strong focus on Indigenous heritage and recognition that the traditions of generating and exchanging knowledge have been practiced in this country for thousands of years. Graduations are a special time in the life of a university. It is through the centuries-old traditions that you have experienced here today that emphasise and help us to recognise the achievements of every one of you as you complete this particular stage of your life journey. This time is special as it marks the end of one phase and the beginning of another phase of your life. Make sure you pause and enjoy the moment, as you've been encouraged by the Chancellor to do already, as you'll remember this time for the rest of your life. These days, odds are that this may not be the last time that you graduate with a university qualification. Some of you may not want to hear that you may in fact return to university at some time in the future. But such is the nature of the modern world that new things come along that require us to refresh and enhance our knowledge or gain some new skills and insights into our work. Just how universities themselves must adapt to these new demands in society is just one of the many conversations that are happening in the corridors and meeting rooms of campuses worldwide. We all have to be ready for something that opens up new opportunities in your careers and life in general. As the Chancellor said at the beginning of this ceremony, you all deserve our hearty congratulations and recognition for what you've achieved in order to graduate today. Congratulations, first of all, for choosing study in the field of nursing. As a career choice, you have demonstrated your commitment to applying your knowledge and skill to the care of others. This is a truly noble thing, and one that will be deeply appreciated by all those with whom you have already or will come in contact as you work on in your career. Secondly, congratulations on completing your studies and the practical experiences that were required for you to achieve this milestone. You have successfully dealt with the very significant changes in your learning environment and so many other aspects of life as it was prior to the pandemic. To have succeeded as you have done shows your high level of resilience and commitment to your life goals. Congratulations must also be extended to your family and friends who've no doubt provided extraordinary support for you through this difficult period. There's another aspect of your new life after graduation that I'd encourage you to contemplate. It comes from reflection on the experiences I've had since I first graduated a few years back. Well, 50 years ago actually, in 1972. First, if some aspect of your work and contribution to society gives you a sense of excitement, stimulation and personal reward, then stick with it. In my case, as you've heard, it was medical research. As our PhD graduates and our academic colleagues here today know, there's nothing quite like finding something new about how things work or need to change, be it from laboratory experimental research or from important observational studies on the practice of care. It is very satisfying to know that your work will have impact on the direction of future knowledge generation or clinical care. Second, and here's a little bit of a contradiction to the first point, if your talents begin to draw you in a new career direction, then give yourself the opportunity to follow that direction. Perhaps you might not jump in straight away, but if your thinking persists, then that's the time to seek that change. Again, as you've heard, I've had several exciting opportunities in my career that have taken me to places overseas for a time and to careers that I would never have imagined when I was a new graduate and then a young academic in medical science. Could I have imagined, for example, that later in my career I would participate in the Australian Law Reform Commission's review of patenting law in respect of genes and genetic technology? Could I have imagined working with lawyers and the Federal Minister for Health to present legislation to the Australian Parliament to prohibit human cloning, and then to present Australia's position on the legislation at meetings at the United Nations in New York? My point here is simple. Find out what really interests and excites you, expect the unexpected, and follow those opportunities. If this entails working with people with different skills and expertise, who in turn recognise and appreciate your skills, expertise and contribution, then together you will have found an opportunity that will bring great satisfaction. Again, hearty congratulations on your achievement. Enjoy the moment and look out for the exciting opportunities that lie ahead. Thank you.
Thank you, Emeritus Professor Pettigrew. That was very inspirational. I'd now like to call upon Natalie Cutler to give the vote of thanks. Natalie graduates today with her doctorate in nursing. Her PhD project explored the meaning of safety in acute mental health inpatient units from the perspective of people who had experienced admission. The findings from Natalie's PhD have been published in 3 high-quality nursing journals, including the top-ranked International Journal of Mental Health Nursing. Natalie completed her PhD while working as a full-time staff member in the School of Nursing at the University of Wollongong and will be known to many graduates today. Natalie is now working in the School of Nursing and Midwifery. I've got to admit it's somewhere else. At the University of Technology, Sydney. Please join me in welcoming Natalie back to University of Wollongong today and to the stage.
Chancellor, Deputy Chancellor, members of the University, distinguished guests, fellow graduates, families and friends. It's a great honour to deliver this vote of thanks today on behalf of the graduates of the Faculty of Science, Medicine and Health. So firstly, I'd like to thank the Chancellor for their reminder to contribute and our responsibility to contribute to our community and to do it with style, and also to Professor Pettigrew for that reminder of doing what we love. Really important messages. I don't think we should forget those. When I first decided to do my postgraduate Masters of Mental Health Nursing at the University of Wollongong, despite living in Sydney, it was largely because of the beautiful surrounds, the trees, the escarpment, the duck pond, the human scale of the buildings, and the gym. By the time I'd finished my PhD studies, however, I'd learned that there was so much more to UOW, and that was the people. The people who support us and the people who support them to support us. Throughout my studies, I felt supported by a community of people. I proudly became part of this community when I started working here as a lecturer and began supporting students in the way I had been supported. The kindness, generosity, and willingness to help that's embedded in the fabric of this place is extraordinary. And although I've moved back to the city to work, apologies for that, I've brought all that I've learnt from UOW, both in the classroom and in life, with me. And I carry this with pride. There's something that sets UOW apart, and you are all a part of that, either through your efforts to complete challenging degrees or through your efforts to support those who have. On behalf of the graduates, I'd like to extend our thanks to the University of Wollongong and express our immense gratitude to the staff who made this graduation possible. This starts in the classroom and includes the lecturers as well as the casual tutors and the facilitation teams. So on behalf of the higher degree graduates, I'll also extend our immense gratitude to the honours, masters and PhD supervisors who've nurtured our creativity and drive. And I also extend thanks to the professional staff who keep the wheels turning and whose work does not go unnoticed, particularly today, and what an amazing job they've done. I extend a very special thanks to parents, partners, children, and other family and friends on behalf of all the graduates. It's because of your love, support, patience, and respect that we made it through this important chapter of our lives. And to my fellow graduates, congratulations to all on your individual achievements and on getting your new hats. So don't underestimate this achievement. Each of you has worked hard, sacrificed, and overcome personal battles and challenges to be here today, and that's not an underestimation under the current circumstances. So good luck with whatever you decide to take on next. And I'll finish with two quick pieces of advice. First, I'd like you just to turn to the person next to you and congratulate them, even if you've never met before. Whether you're a graduate or a supporter of one, you've done the hard yards. And second, finally, because it wouldn't be a graduation speech without an inspirational quote, I'll leave you with these words from Confucius. Wherever you go, go with all of your heart. Thank you.
Thank you, Dr. Cutler. Graduates, families and friends, we're coming to the close of this ceremony today. We now wish to share with you our graduation video. We hope that this video will encourage you all to reflect on the infinite moments that have led to where each of you is sitting today. Please enjoy.
Everything we've done has led towards today. But graduation seems singular. After all, it's one day, one degree, one end and one beginning. Think about it this way though. If we divide today by 4 years,
or 5 years,
or 3 years,
or 8 years,
the equation becomes clearer. Because today isn't just an event or a graduation or a moment of change. It's what we've created through 24 subjects.
11 all-nighters.
357 books read.
54 5,000-word essays.
40 monologues critiqued.
154 films watched.
And 4 films made. Let's be real though. Our experience is way bigger than just the classroom. You've got to factor in
665 hypotheses.
6 heated dramas.
2 semesters abroad. 5 new cultures experienced.
12 concerts attended.
843 waves ridden.
169 hours lounging around.
17 dance parties.
2 major heartbreaks.
And more lifelong friendships than we can count.
When we take those experiences, the long days, late nights and early mornings into the equation, we realise that graduation at the University of Wollongong isn't just some singular thing.
That it's a transition from finding our purpose
to changing our world with the purpose we found.
That our passport to the future has been stamped.
With the mark of a globally respected education.
And most importantly, we realise the moments that led up to this are
a tapestry,
a symphony,
an equation,
a 65,000-year-old history.
We realise that though today is a single moment, graduation is much bigger than any one day. Because like an algorithm made up of bits of code.
Or a building built from many bricks.
Or a community built from many different people. Today is the result of our
experiments,
experiences,
tests,
trials,
and victories.
So that's what we celebrate today. Not the cap, not the gown, but the infinite number of moments we shared at the University of Wollongong.
Just fantastic, beautiful to watch. And the fashions that I saw as I stood up here and presented the degrees was extraordinary. So thank you for all presenting yourselves so magnificently today, men and women. Before we close, can I please ask our graduates to remain seated while the rest of the audience stands? So please join me in congratulating our graduates by giving them a warm round of applause. And judging by the cheering that also occurred during the formalities, I suspect there's quite a bit of celebrating to continue when we leave the hall today. I'd like to warmly thank the students and staff who volunteered their time today to assist in this very special celebration. You can sit, sorry. We are in fact all sitting on 3 of our basketball courts. And a little over a week ago, this is exactly what they were. So this sports hub has been transformed into a place where we feel proud to celebrate our graduates. We feel incredibly proud to celebrate each of you today, and we'd like to invite you to join us under the marquee outside for light refreshments and to congratulate all of you. Our Aboriginal community members will now lead the academic procession, followed by the graduates and then our VIPs. If guests can please remain patient and in your seats, the ushers will be giving us all instructions on exiting the venue. So we'll follow those directions. So congratulations once again to everyone here, and I now declare this ceremony closed.